Hello my friends, welcome to another video. So today I want to talk a little bit about a very controversial subject, what is coming out here. So not the gas, but the music, the sound, the noise motorcycles make. Because there are different perspectives on that, and I have been criticized a lot because I'm advocating for motorcycles which are not too loud. But let me explain why. Yes, of course I like the sound of a nice V2. A nice V2, doesn't it sound like music? But unfortunately, we are the minority. The majority of people don't like noisy motorcycles and noise in general. So we need to realize that if we piss off other people, we motorcyclists, we will always draw the shorter straw. We will see restrictions, we will see new silly laws. So it doesn't make really sense to make a motorcycle as loud as possible, in my opinion, because we are shooting in our own leg. Just to explain that a little bit to our friends in the US who have totally different conditions as we in Europe have. I just checked Idaho, for example, a very popular destination for adventure motorcycling, has about 8 inhabitants per square kilometer. 8. Now compare that to Germany, something about 230, Austria 108. Now imagine in Austria, for example, there are the Alps, so all the traffic goes through these narrow valleys. In Germany, the old roads, which we motorcyclists prefer to ride, are going through the villages. On good days, there are some popular routes where villages are passed by 1,000 motorcycles. That's a summer weekend, not unusual, several hundred to up of 1,000 motorcycles. Now imagine you are sitting there on a Sunday after you've been working hard for all the week, and there's continuous background noise. Okay, you might say, it's like on a racetrack. Yeah, but that's us, that's not the majority of the population. We want to relax, we want to have a quiet day, and now we are polluting their environment with this noise. And if just 10% of these several hundred or 1,000 motorcyclists are very loud, then we have a serious problem there, because it will piss off people. Now Austria, 1 or 2 years ago, has come with a very stupid law. We made motorcycles above 95 decibel illegal to ride in Tyrol. And that is idling sound. So that is a totally different noise level than what you have when the motorcycle is passing by. It could be louder in idling than it is actually when it is passing by. On top of that, these motorcycles are have a European homologation, so they are legal to ride in most of Europe. Still, we press through this law, no more motorcycles in Tyrol over 95 decibel idling sound. Make too much noise and the people are pissed off. And it's the majority in a democracy that decides. It's not a police state, it's the majority in a democracy that decides how the rules are made. Unfortunately, then the lawmakers not always make logic decisions. That's a different story. You need to be aware that the population density in Germany and the population distribution is totally different than from what you guys see, for example, in the US, where you have huge open empty spaces. That is not the case in most parts of Europe. In Sweden, at the other hand, where I am here, the problem is a little bit different. We also have very sparse population out on the countrysides, but we are using a lot of gravel roads, or I'm using a lot of gravel roads that are privately owned. Yes, we are allowed to ride on private roads over private property if the road is built for vehicle traffic. However, the landowner who owns that land where the road passes over can anytime decide to close down the road for the public. That's his absolute right. And imagine you have a farm where all the traffic passes through, really just between the houses, literally between the house and the stables. And you have horses there, you have cattle there, and now a lot of loud motorcycles are passing through, maybe frightening his children even, or causing some almost crashes. Wouldn't you also close down that road? Of course. I recently had a cow herd going stampede. I'm not entirely sure if it was a stampede, it was very strange. It almost looked like they were racing me. They didn't look panicked, they ran in parallel to me. But I've frequently seen horses panicking, and the very last thing I'd like to experience is a 16-year-old girl falling off a horse because I have frightened that horse with my motorcycle, and now she's falling off and gets injured. Imagine those headlines. I don't want to have that on my conscience. So back to this beautiful piece of craftsmanship. Why do I have that one on it? Well, the original pipe coming with the 701 and 690 gets horribly hot, so hot that you burn straps and you burn soft luggage and you will burn your pants and the flesh under it if you ever should get your leg below it. On top of that, it's quite heavy. you can save some significant weight. The bike, when I bought it a year ago, came with the Remus KTM-Husqvarna Power Parts part, but I found that one still too aggressive in sound. It made like this bap, 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 hard knocking sound, and I didn't like that. So last week I decided to try something else, even that it's quite an expensive experiment, and I ordered the Wings exhaust, by the way. I'm not getting sponsored by them, I paid full price, and they offer a silent insert. So this is the most silent insert I have in there, and it gives a nice sound, as I think. Not as aggressive and not as loud as the Remus, and God forbid not as loud as some other Italian brands, for example. But it stays cool and it is light, and I can still put my hand on it here after riding. So I will not burn any luggage on it. And I think that is a good compromise, even that it was a significant investment, but it secures my riding possibilities and it avoids conflicts with the local people. And I think that's worth it. Consider it. It's really worth it. Mainly if you live in Europe, if you live even in Scandinavia, if you live anywhere else. Even in Spain now there are first trends to close down routes because people who are not motorcyclists, like hikers and mountain bikers, don't like the noise anymore. And that means something if that happens in Spain. Oh, by the way, recently somebody in a Facebook group called me a grumpy old man because I was advocating against making motorcycles unnecessarily loud, exactly with the reasons I explained to you. And I cannot really deny the old nature and age is taking its toll, of course, but grumpy? Am I grumpy? Do I look grumpy or what? Am I grumpy? Okay, I guess you know what I mean. Ride safely, enjoy the rest of the summer, and see you in the next video. Bye, my friends.